forward with the Terraform as well. Moving ahead, this is more about an high level architecture, what we're going to build on AWS, right? So again, if you can see, this is the AWS account where I'm going to spin up the entire infrastructure which is going to hold the Kubernetes cluster. I'm using AP South 1 because I'm in India, and AP South 1 is nothing but a Mumbai AWS region. Again, AWS has a sort of a construct called as an AWS region and availability zone. Region is nothing but a grouping construct which group availability zone to each other. So for example, in AP South 1 we do have a 2 availability zone, and this availability zone are representations of the data centers, right? So data center where actually AWS is running their hardware for us, right? So in AP South 1 there are 2 data centers, like availability zone 1 and availability zone 2. So in this 2 availability zone we are going to spin up an VPC, right, of our own CIDR range. VPC is nothing but isolated public private space where we can spin up our applications, right? It is completely isolated from others who are using AWS for their application uses. This sort of an space is completely quarantined for the one who created that VPC, right? So nobody else can interfere into that VPC space which you have created, right? You have a complete freedom to do whatever you want to and spin up your resources in an isolated public private manner. Then that VPC, again we are going to divide that into 2 subnet, which is the public subnet and a private subnet, right? So public subnet, as the name indicate, right, we do have an access to a public internet from the resources that we're gonna spin up inside the public subnet. So we're gonna put a Bastion host which is acted as a jump box. Only that Bastion host would be there in public subnet along with an NAT gateway which is spread across 2 availability zone. Again, NAT gateway is a managed service from AWS. We just need to spin it up. We don't need to do anything else apart from that. Bastion host is something what we are creating which act as a jump box, and from that jump box we would log in into our Kubernetes master and other Kubernetes nodes. So this is quite a secure architecture where we are only exposing Bastion host in the public subnet, and remaining all our Kubernetes component, which is Kubernetes masters as well as Kubernetes node, will be there in the private subnet. So nobody else would able to access those Kubernetes component or Kubernetes cluster outside of your sort of a public network, right? So it is completely private and it can be only accessed through the Bastion host or the or from the endpoint which has allowed an access to this Kubernetes private subnet, right? So this is what the end level product or end level view of the Kubernetes clusters that supposed to be there on AWS. Moving ahead, now this bit is more about source code and step walkthrough, right? So in this case what I'm going to do is I do have a GitHub repository over here, right, and which consists of the things. I do have it open over here, which consists of the things that has to be. I hope my screen is visible now. Okay, so this is, yeah, thanks. So this is the Terraform AWS GitHub repository, which consists of all sort of an Terraform infrastructure as a code which has to be executed in order to create your Terraform clusters. All the steps has been mentioned over here. Again, this is an public repository which I have created, which is accessible for everybody to use. You just need to go through this sort of steps, which is detailed enough to start using this repository and spin up your first Kubernetes clusters on AWS. I have also mentioned about the issues that I have come across while I was developing this repository. Just feel free to go through that, and if you face any sort of similar issues, the solution are also listed over here, and definitely it would save your time and start and enable you to move forward with your Kubernetes cluster execution. So with the interest of time, I will give a quick walkthrough of what this repository is. This is something what it contains the Terraform files, which is where we have to define the CIDR ranges, what you want to spin up. This is what the EC2 type, which is T2 micro, which is a free tier releasable EC2 instance which we are using. So you don't need to pay an extra penny for any sort of an compute that we are using there on AWS. The AMI, I am using an Ubuntu 10 AMI for this purpose, and this is something which is a user public key, which again, this is a public key. You can keep your own public key over here, right? You don't need to worry about it because it's a public key, it's not a private key. So the private key is something that you can keep on your own local laptop. This is the main.tf file where we can set up the Kubernetes construct, the Terraform constructs to build a Kubernetes platform by using different modules that is there as part of this repository. We are using modules over here in order to implement the phenomenon of don't repeat yourself, dry phenomenon, right? So this sort of modules that we have created can be used anywhere, right? All these are version modules, so and everything is dynamic. There is nothing sort of in hard coding. There are few hard coding that is there as a part of variable definitions, but in terms of a module, everything is fall under the principle of a try, don't repeat yourself. So this module can be called to any sort of an different use case and use as and when required. Then this is something what you can call as a Kubernetes app. So once your Kubernetes cluster is ready, right, you have some sort of an a sample app that can be deployed on the Kubernetes clusters. That is something what is already available in this repository, which you can refer about. Then we do have a git ignore file, right? So when you are developing an Terraform stuff with HCL, right, there are some sort of an garbage file or system generated file or some sort of an metadata files which being created by your Terraform or which created by your editor. So I did use PyCharm over here, but you can free to use any sort of editor of your own choice. And this git ignore file is just to take away those, just to avoid those metadata file or unwanted file to be committed into your GitHub repository, right? The README, which is pretty much simple. The prerequisite which we already discussed, right? What it requires, and the link are given over here to download all those softwares, and again how to start. So as a part of this demonstrations, we're gonna execute the steps given here to actually doing the demonstration and to spin up